arena and try and displace the councillors who just go along with the idea that cuts are the thing to do. And I think that's what differentiates us between us and the parties that are here today and the parties which are in George Square in the chambers. If you look at their manifestos, they are actually full of some quite good ideas for what the future, there's some that are not so good, but we're not going to that. They're full of some good ideas. The one issue it doesn't actually tackle is how do you get the money? And Matt began to touch on it in a certain way when he was speaking, but in reality I think that there has to be a stance taken on the fundamental issue about what cuts is about. Because you see all the parties there currently, they really accept the idea that the only way out of the current economic difficulties created by the 1% is for the 99% to pay. And we are fundamentally opposed to that idea. And just to give you a specific example, when it came to discussions on the budget for Glasgow City Council of roughly £2.5 billion, what did the parties that are here today, including the ones that would say that they're the radical alternatives, what did they actually do in practice? What they did in practice was not to suggest that more money should be spent, but to fight over what the nature of £10 million worth of cuts would be within that £2.5 billion budget. And nowhere is this idea more explicit than in personalisation. I think it's actually the very epitome of what the whole crisis that we're facing in public expenditure and public services is about. Services should be sensitive to individual needs and delivered to meet that need. The need requires obviously to be assessed in partnership with the users of the service. Instead, what we have in Glasgow is personalisation taking place. 30 seconds left. Yep. Is the issue of the individual, against a £10 million saving. And there's no way you can do that in that circumstance. And what we stand for is the idea that councillors should not be the automatons who pass on the cuts, but should be tribunes of the people who are there to defend services. And if they said no more, we are not cutting services, and joined with the other local authorities, unlike what Matt referred to in Liverpool, we could get a situation where there wasn't just one council taking on the condemns and the SNP government, but all the councils saying enough's enough, we need more money, take it off the banks. 10% of the money that went to the Royal Bank of Scotland would mean that in Scotland there would be no cuts in any of the services. 10%, and that's only one of the banks. So stop bailing out the bankers, put the money into services, and that's the way to do it. We, as Scottish Anti-Cuts Coalition councillors, if elected, will be tribunes of the people and will mobilise in that fight involving service users, service providers and the councillors.